하늘의 끝을 향해 올라가는 계단을 바라보며 우릴 수 있을까?
Hey everyone out there, and welcome for our next current episode of Relevant Ramblings, our topical podcast where we discuss current up-and-comings in the WEBTOON community as well as manhwa and anime now, because if you haven't read the title of our current episode, we're going to be discussing the first episode of Tower of God.
Tower of God.
That thing over there. But let me go ahead and introduce everyone to the group here. Of course, I am your host, the Sleepies, and to my left.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Seraph here.
Hey.
And it's Arc Dragoon.
Did
you know how much I'm going to dread this?
Did you change anything about yourself? No?
What?
Nothing?
What did I change?
You didn't change anything about yourself?
No, I didn't do anything.
Oh, okay.
Why?
No reason. I
The
just
lighting
thought
is different.
I thought I just might have
You're
saw
shining
something.
the
I think
else
it's just this. I think it's because the sun is moving.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
The sun is out. Hold
The
on.
sun is out. I mean, it is kind of weird. The sun is out. It is out and about. So.
I've been holed up in my house for the past
snowed
while,
yesterday.
So I haven't had a chance to look outside.
Yeah, it did snow a little yesterday. I did not like that. I just closed I closed the blinds at that point and just went, you know what? I will be personally quarantined from that. So it's all good. But we're actually more here to talk about the first episode for Tower of God. It is finally out. The world has had a chance to absorb, see it. For all of those who have not read the actual webtoon that's been ongoing, and we are somewhere around, what, 400 chapters?
Yeah.
About 400-ish chapters. So a daunting task for anyone restarting or starting for the first time. But either way, this is another great avenue to get into that whole series. As you haven't told, Arc at the end there does have some things to say when it comes to Tower of God. He's already gone on a few rants over the last couple of days about it. So, but to say the least, but I definitely say we'll dive right into it and get off the back. Just base level impressions right now for the first episode. I thought it was actually pretty good. I enjoyed a lot of the animation and the action, and just getting to see this for the this webtoon for the first time in that full new format was just all around yes, so much. How about you two? What did you think? I think you were actually the first one to watch it there, Seraph, out of everyone, since you caught it right at 7 a.m.
Yeah, I was one of the first to watch it. I thought it was good. The pacing could have been a little bit better, like if they extended.
No, the pacing is absolutely trash.
Monster! Calm down!
All right.
Like I said, the pacing could have been better.
I also didn't understand
I was gonna wait for us to get
why
to the bad.
Pacing was
so
like.
We're just gonna let Art go. Go ahead.
All right, so the first 12 minutes is breakneck speed, like actual breakneck speed. It is moving so fucking fast that I have nothing to like. There's no room to breathe. It is, and I didn't understand it at all as to why there was a point in the beginning to have. It's like it is shot for shot the manga. Basically, with one of the chapters, the webtoon with one of the chapters missing. That's basically it.
And it's actually not a complete shot for shot. There's actually it is one capsulation of the first chapter with a ton of sections cut out.
Yeah, they cut out a bunch of dialogue. They cut out a bunch of like certain things like the thinking process.
Fast.
They seem like they tried to restructure it in a way so that they could only get the perspective of one character the entire way through. That was what they shot it as. Because
they did it that way, it's moving so fast that I have no room to breathe. And there was no point in having the point where they do the like beginning where they have to explain what the Tower of God is, and then have everyone reiterate all
All
the fucking time what the Tower of God was.
Oh my god.
Did anyone else catch that? They were like, "Oh, okay, so you explained what the Tower of God is," and then because that's chapter zero.
It's chapter
And
zero.
then and
The
then
epilogue, yeah.
and then everyone continues to explain the Tower of God every other sentence, basically. Oh, are you here for so and so? Are you here for this? Are you here for that? And I was like, why would you have this at the beginning and then have everyone reiterate it afterwards? There was no point to this narration then.
And that's probably the suffering of them following the 1-to-1 with the actual webtoon, because they do, like, people do explain the tower in the first chapter, but it's to the point of they're explaining it to the character and not the audience. Whereas that side chapter is zero. There is no other context. It's just solidly that. And then when they're explaining it to Bam, you know, when he's there, it's like, okay, he has no clue about this. He's literally just, this is all brand new. So
He showed up and was
and
like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
And I would have been fine if they just had it where they were explaining it to Bam, but they had to explain it to us, the audience, and then regurgitate it to Bam, and there was no point to that at all. And it was just taking up space in the episode where they could have slowed it down and it'd been perfectly fine. Having the scene in which the princess talks to her navigator, like before Bam here, it would have been enough to slow down the episode for me to absorb what the fuck was going on. But there's none of that. It's just moving again and again and again. The first 12 minutes. And then I was like, oh, okay, they're moving fast so they can get to a fight scene. And I totally, and then I was like, wait, there is no fucking fight scene for them to rush to get to the Sakuga of the episode. So then I was like, so then what was the fucking point of this speed?
It's so aggressive.
I feel that I missed a chance at watching him have a mental breakdown observing this first episode. I really am upset that we didn't do.
Why didn't we do a
view?
watch party?
We should have done a watch party. I tried to get that, but
so I may have a problem with like how long the plot takes in the fucking webtoon, but I understand. Like, but the thing is, the webtoon is not actually like poorly paced. So it's you understand what's going on and everything. So it's just that the story itself takes a fucking long ass time to get to the point that's like it pays off. All right, and that's my problem with it. But for this, it's moving so fast that I was like, but what purpose does this serve? Like, who is this for at this point? If I was watching this without any context of like reading it in the first place, I would have never watched this ever again, because this is like the best way I can compare it is like I am watching Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, like the first part of this where they're speeding up just to catch everyone up to where it's different compared to the first one, because it's speeding up and it just assumes that you've already watched it or read it before, and I'm just like, this is absolutely so useless then.
I wasn't gonna jump right into the bad parts of the thing, but since we're already neck deep in it,
what good is there if like it's moving so fast where I'm like, oh, I have no time to actually process what was good. Like, yeah, I liked how everything was drawn. I mean, the art was not hard to the animation and the art style is not hard to look at, but that is so bare minimum. Because I'm like, if I am not invested in the story, then how the fuck am I going to be invested to actually just continue watching the animation?
I think they were trying to push super fast to get you further into the story, and that's the thing. Because they want to try it, because it seems like almost if they might be doing every chapter every episode is a test that he's going to be going through, and this entire first episode is the first test.
Yeah, but then they start the second test
with a mixture of the second
15 minutes in, and I was like, wait, why did we do this? There's no point in moving this fast There's no fight
man.
scene.
Well, we also knew, I think we already know that there's only, 13 episodes supposedly for this first season? So
Yeah.
there's probably like an indeterminate amount of, because you do have to remember, depending on where they're going to try and stop, how much that they actually have to put into from what's in the actual webtoon. Because if they had actually done a 1-to-1 with the very first episode, they probably would have made it to the end of the chapter, or at least to him actually like taking on the giant, almost like basilisk thing. They would have taken it on
The steel
eel. That would have only gotten to that point, because not only do you have the whole part of just them getting into the tower, because there's a whole scene of him and Rachel during that whole bit, and then Rachel having a discussion with Hedon, and then Bam shows up, and then he has a small little interference with Hedon, and before he even goes in to do the test, then we cut over to the princess and her guide guide just having a discussion as they're walking through this whole thing. So then you have that. So I think that they try to like, okay, we're only going to go from Bam's perspective, so that cuts out Rachel and Hedon, Rachel, her and the guy, and granted, that's what we get at this point here, just losing all of that, which does kill a lot of the context for a lot of things.
It kills a lot of things because literally Yuri came out of nowhere.
Yeah, we get
no. Okay, so we already know how I feel fucking Bam in the fucking webtoon, right?
Yes,
so
we do.
The Bam is a fucking mess. So the problem here is like they basically cut out what everyone already likes about Tower of God, which is everything but fucking Bam. So like I don't understand.
So aggressive.
Someone, you are so upset about this.
Take a deep breath, quick, dog.
Yeah.
Everyone,
Inhale.
everyone who likes Tower of God says like, oh yeah, I like everything but Bam, and I'm like, okay, so you we spoke before already.
Your
so
argument.
What you like is you like the frosting, but the cake is shit. Okay, cool. So like now all I'm giving here is like shit ass cake.
If the analogy fits for that, I guess that would be so. Yeah, we didn't get. If anything, what you're really saying is they cut out all of the characters. They really cut down all of the characters, and that did bum me out.
Especially in the first couple chapters.
Yeah,
the webtoon compared to the anime, they cut out a lot of things.
I didn't like the appearance of Yuri
like
for this one.
Head-On, and I don't know why they cut him out so poorly like this.
I was confused by that. I actually feel like Hinan's voice actor was gonna sound a little different, and yeah, I didn't like how much they cut out Hinan, as well as changing of his character. He isn't as cryptic as he is in the webtoon. He's very, very straightforward with his instructions. Like, there's no guessing of what he's trying to do or anything. And I don't know if that also plays into the poor pacing, because they wanted to get Bam as quickly as they could out of that situation, so they just changed his character. Yuri has way more character in her first appearance, and in this one, she just shows up. She shows up and she decides
out of nowhere.
She just decides she wants to help for an unknown reason. So I think that the biggest thing for you, Ark, is that it's a lot of the character has been taken out from the changeover from the webtoon, and I'm not sure why. If they're just worried on timing, like they're not going to have enough time to set all of this up with however many episodes they have. I mean, for the first episode you were gonna get a crap ton of eyes because a lot of people are wanting to see this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is like I said, I was trying to say it was good for the fact that it
better. It's called One Piece. Like by that I mean like it knows how fucking long it is, and like it takes its time to help you understand and be invested in the story. I'm not asking saying that they could not have skipped things, all right?
Oh no.
But the first episode should not be this so fucking fast that I'm not invested in anything. Like, why the fuck should I care about Bam? Who the fuck are these characters? Why do they care about the fact that Bam took this sword from her? Or there's no point. Like, the only people who would like this right now are the people who have read the webtoon. You have to understand the context, but there's none of it because they cut all of that out.
Yeah, I'm a little remiss as to why they did make some of those changes. I really I can only speculate on a lot of those things. I was definitely going to bring up the fact for Bam himself is very well changed from his counterpart in the webtoon. He is
no, because it's so fast, you will get the time to hear him whine and bitch.
Nice.
I mean, he doesn't even whine and bitch in the first couple of chapters. He actually doesn't say much. He's pretty stoic in the first couple of bits, and in this one, he actually speaks up a bit more often, but it's usually in a very like worried and
two couple words.
Yeah, but it's also in a very controlled as well as scared manner. Like when we see him even, come up to the part of the second test, he's actually running around freaking out. And in the webtoon, he actually just stands there. He doesn't move at all because he doesn't seem to have any fear of what's going on because he's never known fear. So, but in this one, like, he just hurries off and runs away. He's freaked out. Even when he takes the test with heat on, he doesn't have a weapon. He doesn't have his knife when he goes to...
Yeah, he doesn't have his cleaver.
He doesn't have the cleaver.
But he has.
Like, he actually threatens heat on. And in this one, he's completely, like...
naked.
Yeah. He's almost like... He's exactly like a child. He's just...
I also did not understand why suddenly, after the second test started, he suddenly was afraid. Because in the first test, he was like, no, I'm just going to leap in the fucking eel's mouth immediately. Like, there's no fear in that, all right? Like, so, like, there was no... I didn't understand the transition where the second test started in the anime adaptation. Where, like, oh, yeah, now he's running for his life. We're like, but, wait, why?
Yeah, that's what I mean by the change of his character. It's like, that switch up between him and the webtoon doesn't make sense, where he has... The first test was to prove you have no fear. And then he gets to the second test and he's freaking out, just running around the battlefield. And I'm like, okay, yeah,
this is not the same person who was there a minute ago.
Yeah.
What?
Where did he go? What happened to him? Hold on.
It seems that they're very much focused so far in this first episode, at least showing off those key points from the actual webtoon itself. We get to see the Black March. We get to see it actually awaken. We get to see him fight the Steel Eel.
A little bit.
A little bit, which is really fast, but we get to see that. We get to see him start the second part of the test, so we get to see him
meet Rack and Cone.
Rack, and we get to see Mr. Leroy. We get to see those things, but it seems like they're doing really fast, or they're making sure that we see those key things that we know and are familiar with from the webtoon. So,
like I said, they're just speeding up to get to the fights. But the problem here is
that there's no fights.
I don't
really.
like.
The first couple of tests. Well, the first couple of tests, there aren't any fights because Bam himself doesn't fight in those first couple of tests. He literally stands in the background because he doesn't know what to do. So
he doesn't know what's going on or what to do.
Yeah.
He's just like,
I mean,
okay,
even
I'm here, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And even in this second test that he's going on, where they stopped at, he doesn't fight at all. And even in the next test he has, there's no fighting really. So he's just going to be going through these paces. If they're really speeding it up to get to a fight, it's going to be a little bit before an actual fight occurs with him. So
yeah, the only time he actually fights is when season 2 hits.
Exactly. So
while through all season 1, we only get to see like Rack, Coon, Anak, and
we'll see others fight.
I think that's what's happening, where they're just rushing so we get to see everyone else fight, but Bam.
Maybe.
Because it makes no sense with how they're pacing this, with how they're doing this. If what they want is just the perspective of Bam, then they should slow the fuck down. But because Bam right now is just being used as like a fucking
he's a vehicle.
A vehicle for us to just get to the next fight. That's all it is.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how far they've gone into production with this and how much of it's already been finished, but yeah, I know that I think it was just the translation was wrong because they called the the irregulars non-regulars in the
They
translation,
fixed that.
and
They
fixed
fixed that
it?
right
Okay.
away.
So they fixed it.
It's
So
like
now
within
it's
the first day they fixed it.
Okay, good. So the translation got fixed to be the proper titling for it. But yeah, I'm not sure how much into production this is, because yeah, I would definitely say this needs to slow all the way down. They really need to capture the rest of what's going on, and I don't know if it's, you know, Arc, I know we've brought up this discussion before, but like with them trying to do a conversion for the Killing Joke and them complaining like there's not enough content to fill out the whole thing, and it seems like they may try to be doing that in the same thing where they're like there's not enough going on to fill in all of the timing that we need, but really there kind of is. It's just that it doesn't involve them going anywhere else. So yeah,
I could fix this easily. The first episode here was not a problem if they had just taken the full episode to dedicate it to the part where he finishes the first test, but they didn't do that. They just rushed through it, and as such there's such horrible pacing where there is literally no breathing time between everyone talking in the first 12 minutes.
Okay.
And when I say there's no breathing time, I mean there is literally no breathing time.
Well,
one person starts talking, finishes talking, then the next person starts talking and finishes talking. There needs to be just room for it to breathe. This story is not hard to adapt. People like it for a specific reason, okay? And it's not BAM, again, it's not BAM, but they like it for a very specific reason, and the way they're adapting it is ignoring what is actually popular about this story.
Yeah, so I definitely can agree to a lot of those testament points. How did we feel about at least even the appearance of the characters? Like, how did you react to them?
I thought Head-On was taller than that.
I kind of did a little bit too. I thought he was about. I thought
he was like the same size, a little bit shorter to be honest, because like he's kind of small in the webtoon.
I think he was. I kind of saw him as a little bit shorter.
No, okay. Let me take that. In the webtoon, he feels taller than that. By that I mean like he has such a presence where you think that he is an actual guardian to the tower. Here, he has no presence. He just shows up and says that he's the caretaker, and you're like, okay, cool, but I don't feel like you're an actual threat.
I think
you don't feel the tension from him.
Yeah,
like
that's what that is.
I think
the tension, the pressure.
Yeah, I think they did a bad job with some of the framing, because I'd have to go back and look, but I'm pretty positive a lot of the framing with Heat-On is a lot of chest up or side shots where it's really close, so you're not 100% sure on Heat-On's size. They do have one where I think they show him and Bam and he's a little bit shorter, but because of the way that he acts in his presence, they always show him in such a close, tight version that it feels like he's way bigger than everyone else in the picture. You know, they always do a lot of those side shots where you see just his eye or you see him smile, you know, giving off that allure. The same thing with the princess and her appearance. She seemed really just generic almost, even in the way she acts and her entrance. She doesn't at all come off like her character is in the actual webtoon. She just seems just like your standard carefree character, and then she's gone. So, yeah. I mean, even the fact of when they're interacting with them, you know, much to what you were saying, Arc, with their breakneck pace, where, you know, Heat-On's trying to get Bam to do the test, and she starts complaining and stating that this test is clearly too difficult. Even people in the higher levels would never do this. And instantly Heat-On just tells her, well, what if you give him, you know, we'll make it easy. What if you just give him one of your toys? And he actually just says, what if you give him the Black March? Just do that. That'll totally work. And you get that quick interjection from the guide, and then she just opens up her weapons inventory, just gives it to him, and then he's gone. And I'm like, there was so much more of an interpersonal exchange in that whole bit before, like, you know.
Yeah, because she was talking about how the Black March is like such an important item and all that. Like,
yeah,
we got in the webtoon, we got like actual presence for the Black March.
Yeah.
And what it is in particular.
Yeah, she's actually, she's actually the one to like give more of the go between. Like her and Hedon have this heated argument. And granted, when you kind of remember like, him being the guardian, but she's an actual princess of the tower, she has some royalty figure, but Hedon's just playing with her the entire time. But here, you don't get that kind of interpersonal play with them. It just seems like
you don't get that little comedy that goes on a little bit there.
You don't really.
A lot of they took out a lot of the comedy parts that was in the webtoon.
Yeah.
Like when they were climbing through the ceiling, or like wherever the fuck they were, I'm gonna call it the ceiling.
Yeah, I said the ceiling. There's a giant hole.
And then they like see Bam, and they talk shit about Bam, and then like,
yeah.
Then we get the drop.
Exactly. I mean, even the fact that we missed that whole bit of even getting the guide saying that he clearly isn't anybody special. He seems pretty weak. Yeah, he's got good eyes, but that really won't do much for anything. You don't really get a sense of a lot of the characters in what I would have thought of for the first issue. I feel like that was a huge missed opportunity for this first time going through. Yeah, we didn't get too much from every character in there so far. I mean, we got to see Rack. He made his comment, and he was pretty much.
He didn't call anybody turtles.
No, we didn't get to that point yet. We're not
mad.
that far. The same with Kuan. I mean, we did get to see that. Hey, they're keeping the violence. They're very much keeping the violence. We saw someone get shot, blood splatter. They're not shying away from that, which is good. But yeah, I don't know if the fights will be as enjoyable if all of this tension that usually there's in between them in all these interpersonal conflicts is going to be gone. Like if they're just going to be these base, just who's stronger and seeing just really cool animations, it's like, well, I might as well just watch the side YouTube videos of those fights and nothing else, which is really, really disappointing if that becomes the case. But yeah.
Like I said to Bishop, I could just watch Hunter x Hunter again. Because that's
Hunter?
No, what I'm saying is Hunter x Hunter is what they're doing right now, but way better. Like I could just watch that instead right now.
It would just fill the void in the same manner.
Yes, it would just do better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we knew that this was definitely going to be different going around because, not just dimension of the formatting that they're going with here. Webtoons tend to have that little bit of difference between mangas where they can add a lot more extra information and depth and interpersonal because they don't have a limit on how many chapters or how many pages they can display in every section. They have all this time, and that can be a good thing when converting it over to adaptation, and it can be a terrible thing. So I'd say that this time around, while I liked a lot of the good parts for myself, it still is kind of a miss overall. I think there's some things they could have done a little bit better, especially on the pacing. Hopefully for the next episode, if they learn, they will slow all the way down, or this was just a one-time thing and they pushed it out and the next episode will be better and they'll have those dialogues in there, at least all of them that should appear, and we won't just get like
the important dialogue that's supposed to come out.
Yeah, because now after this point, everything is mostly from only Bam's perspective. We don't get too many of those jump offs from somebody else unless it's actually a part of the story. So maybe we won't miss that.
Here, I'm just here. This is how you would fix the first episode.
Well,
you start off with the scene where the princess and also her porter are in the ceiling talking. They're in the tower. They're talking about the tower. All right. So this way you get to explain about the regulars and the irregulars. Okay. And then they talk about how, oh hey, there an irregular showed up on the first floor. And then as soon as that, then we pop to Bam in the first floor, and he's there looking, and they have the same exchange between Bam and also Head On. All right. We have it where Bam is going to charge into the fucking eel by itself, the eel cage by himself, and that's when the princess pops down and stops him. All right, we get the whole exchange there. All right, we have the quick, oh, here's the fucking thing, so the translator, so you can listen to us now too, and all the stuff. All right, and we don't get any time wasted as to like, oh hey, why does Bam want to go into the tower and stuff? Because that's all that needs to be seen right there is just at the point where he calls for the Black March's help, and the Black March asks like, what do you want from the tower? And then we have a quick flashback.
We can do a flashback.
Yeah, just a quick flashback, and we don't even need to see anything else except the fact that there's Rachel falling through the door, and he then follows her afterwards. And that's all you need in silence. Okay, you don't need anything said between them. You completely understand what's going on there, what he's chasing, and then he just says, "I'm just chasing her," and then that happens, and it can just end where he finishes the test and ends up in the field looking around like, where the fuck am I? And that's the start for the next episode. If the first episode should be paced like that, instead of having it where everything is being repeated again and again in the first episode, but I don't know why at such a speed when there's no payoff for it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether you had to explain the Tower of God so much when they could have literally just put that epilogue right there
and then
without talking about it ever again, because it's the title of the goddamn anime. We are here at the Tower of God.
I mean, they could do it like with the opening of One Piece. Exactly what is One Piece? Let me tell you, every opening, we're done. We don't need to, no one else inside the world needs to explain it to anybody. They all already know, so we can just go. They know for
the first 30 seconds of the episode.
Exactly. So, I definitely see that there could have been a cut differently. And normally, like, I know that you're one that that doesn't like flashbacks happening a lot, but definitely I could have accepted a flashback with him and Rachel in the beginning there at that point later on, rather than, you know, the whole.
You mean besides like multiple flashbacks?
Yes.
Because we get to see him fall, like in the beginning it starts with him and Rachel, and then they fall through the doors, and then later on we get another flashback of him again with the door, and you're like, wait, we literally just saw this.
Yeah. That's definitely that was definitely just poor editing right there. It's like, no, you could have cut all that. This could have just been a single flashback of explaining that, and we could have just started right in with him in front of Hedon after the music opening, or him waking up and being asked about the test. That you could have completely rewrote that, but that's where you get that artistic license of whoever is the producer or whoever is in charge of handling this. So so at least for I'd say at least for our first episodes all the way around, so I'd say arc from you, it's probably not a great start to the whole series, just bad all around.
Wait, one more thing. There's one last thing I want to nitpick, but okay. I know this is a weird nitpick, but like this.
It's a personal one.
Why are they all speaking fucking Japanese? Okay, I get that the webtoon is being adapted by a Japanese company, but I feel like this really should have been Korean, or am I wrong?
Well, they got a Korean voice actors for like the Korean viewers, and then we got the Japanese, and we got French and stuff like that, because Tower of God is translated into like 28 different languages.
I did not see the Korean version, and it does not look like
it changed.
Mouth-wise, it changes anyways. Like it, I want just to see it in Korean first. It feels like the context of things that are said should be in Korean, so you could feel it how it's supposed to be instead of Japanese. Because I get they're both foreign languages, and there's some similarities between it, but there are words that are only said in Korean that only make sense in Korean.
Yeah, like Bam and etc.
Yeah,
the name Bam
actually has.
They had to use a different name instead of saying it in English. Bam. Yep. Like, as well as Rachel is Lahel.
Lahel, yeah.
And then we got like the Black March in Japanese instead of like saying it in English or Korean. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some loss of translations always happens a little bit there when you start realizing like we don't have a word for that word, so we got to mix and match here a bit. Now you said that it was translated. Did we actually have an English dub of this?
I don't
no?
think we have an English
Okay.
dub yet. Like, you know how most things go? You have,
Exactly.
like, other languages and then English comes later on.
Yeah, so
Like One Piece did and like fucking Hunter x Hunter and
If there's
stuff
a
like
Korean version, I
kinda wanna
don't know
see-
how to.
I will go watch that.
I
I
would-
will look out for it, boys. I got you.
I kind of would like
because
to see
it's
a Korean
not it's
version
not on Crunchyroll.
just to see what the
Yeah,
translation.
on Crunchyroll, but I'll look out for it. 'Cause
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a Korean version.
I would hope so. Otherwise, it would make little sense for them.
Make
but-
it better. For
I
the-
can
for
at
the
least
Korean-
watch Thunderbolt Fantasy in Taiwanese if I want. Okay, do you
I don't know
understand
what
this?
that is, but okay.
Yes, you
Stefan
do.
knows what Thunderbolt Fantasy is.
Yes.
Is it
yes.
the puppet one?
It's the puppets.
Yes, by puppets.
Oh, that's tight as fuck.
yeah.
You should watch it.
I thought
It's
you.
really good.
Can we do a watch party?
We could. I swear, I thought we brought this up. We'll do a watch party for it.
We're gonna go
Just
off topic. My bad.
We're getting way off topic. But still, at the end there. So, Art, my question again, all around to you. This first episode, just plain bad start all around.
It's a fail, bro.
Just
and that's not from like the opinion that I don't like how the story is structured. All right, because that's cast aside. I'm just saying from the standpoint of watching the anime, this is a very bad first episode.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you haven't read the webtoon and you just watch the anime, you know, it's just gonna be like, what the fuck am I looking at?
Yeah. I feel like they pointed out information that's important, but it's not really relevant for them at this point. Like there wasn't enough proper information given to everything that was currently happening. Some of the actions all around just didn't make sense. I mean, even the appearance of Yuri and the princess just appearing from nowhere, wanting to help and then disappearing. It doesn't make sense.
Well, they didn't really vanish. They were still there.
They're still
Bam
there,
disappeared.
but Bam disappeared. But you know, now they're gone. But they're gonna be gone for a little bit. So
Until they show up again next time in like the next.
not
50
even the next
chapters.
episode. Yeah, you know,
That's
it's
in the
like-
next 50 chapters.
Yeah, so it's like you just introduced a character, and now that character's literally gone for an indefinite amount of time. So yeah, the breakneck pace of this is not the greatest bit of start for me. For this, I'm still excited to keep watching because, well, granted, I already have that knowledge prior of what I'm expecting, but at the same time, yeah, anybody new seeing this probably would be like, I don't know what happened. I'm not even sure if I'm interested to continue to go forward.
If you want me to recommend, just go read the webtoon.
Yeah, honestly,
It's in color.
yeah,
everything is
honestly,
fine.
if
It'll
you
look just like
watch
the
this,
anime.
it'll look just like the anime. Literally, if you have,
Exactly.
if you're even slightly interested, go read the webtoon. It actually fleshes out everything you missed that the first episode didn't show you. So yeah, this is a really weird reverse because usually it's the one to the other, but now it's like, go read this to get all the context. I usually hate those, but yeah, yeah, I think that's all we got to say on this one. With that, it was a little bit of a bummer all around for that first part. I'm not sure. I mean, you were watching it in a watch party though with a few other people on Thursday in the evening-ish. So I don't know if they said anything or if you heard any, rumblings about people's thoughts and opinions on that.
Pacing
Was so it seems like generally pacing might be the all around thing for
Consensus here.
it. Consensus all going. All right.
Pacing
Oh,
and
what'd
missing
you-
context.
I don't know. What do you guys think of the Japanese voice actors? Did you guys like them? Did you think it fit or no?
I think Bam's voice actor was fine. I think
The princess's voice is fine. Her porter's voice is fine.
I didn't care
I
for
did
the
not
Porter's voice.
hate-
I thought his would be a little different. I swear.
I thought Hadion was gonna be a deeper voice.
I did too.
Yeah,
really.
That's what I read
expected
on my
more.
head when I
not a
first saw
deeper
it.
voice, but like a more what's it? More
Sinister-ish.
Yeah, sinister voice.
I was
There we
expecting
go.
him to almost sound like Kafka. a little bit.
like a villain.
Yes, I seriously was expecting him to be like a voice sound that would make for like Kafka, almost. Just
Okay.
really almost Joker-esque like, but very sinister. So yeah, I was a little surprised on that. We only heard Rack say a few words, so
We saw Kun say a couple words, and he's voiced by Bakugo
okay,
from My Hero,
all right.
and I
so
think that fits pretty well.
I think
for
that'll
Kun,
fit pretty well.
actually.
Yeah, I think that'll fit pretty well. I want to hear Rack a little.
I just
bit
can't
more.
wait to hear the tracksuit homie's voice because he's supposed to be voiced by All Might.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. What a changeover for that.
At first, I read him as Frankie in my head when I was reading it from One Piece, and then like I read All Might, I'm like, that's a whole different ball game here. Hold on.
I'm sure they're gonna have quite a few voice actors because
They got some good voice actors because they got like guys from Kimetsu no Yaiba, they got guys from Attack on Titan, you know,
guys
things
and gals.
like that.
Good. I hope the VOs will be good all around and we don't get any really slacked performances because this does not need another mark against it in any area right now. Hopefully it'll keep up strong. But yeah, thanks for that one, Seraph, for sure on that.
I just wanted to see what you guys thought about it.
Yeah. So far, anything else? Art-wise, 1-to-1 looks pretty much spot on to the actual webtoon. Did we see anything?
I have no complaint about the art.
It's got a lot of color to it, just like the webtoon. It's got vibrancy, the contrast, and everything going on around the animations for like when the Black March showed up. I thought that was a really nice touch because like the way the light shone and Black March showing up and everything, it all hit pretty well.
That's good. Yeah,
it gave it the good ambiance for the animation and the music choice too that they had for the OST.
Yes.
That was another thing I was gonna bring up. Like, what do you guys think of the OST? Did it like fit like for most of the ambiances, like and things like that?
I thought it was forgettable.
I actually need to rewatch it again to listen to the OST and actually listen to the background music.
Am I the only one who actually listened to the OST?
I actually need to listen to the background music again because I usually watch an episode once or twice, 2 or 3 times actually before I can get the whole sense of everything.
Get the whole feel.
Yeah, because I'm focusing on one thing one time and then I can focus on something else the next time's around. So.
I don't think it's the music's fault. Like again, it's the pacing
it
of the anime itself. Because there's no room to breathe in it, you don't actually get to process the music. It's as much as like Jimmy here is like talking about the ambience and stuff, I'm like, but what ambience? In all honesty, when I watched it in my head, it sounded like there was no music at all. Because I had to be so concentrated on one person talking and then the next person talking and the next person talking and so on that I don't get to hear the music.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was
the only one who like listened while watching at the same time.
I mean, that would be a badness for the pacing, but it's still there, and it's good to actually like give it a shot on that level. To like, hey, it actually did have some pacing, or did have some good music in the background, and I can just cut that out and listen to it and go, hey, this really fits that scene. You know,
because for me in particular, I like to like when I watch something, I need music to go on in my head with it. I mean, like when I'm watching a fight scene, I need some bangers playing.
Yeah, you need some of that. You need that background stereo for you. It really helps fill in the overall part.
Even when I'm reading, it's just like I have battle music in my head when I'm reading battle scenes.
I mean, it happens. It helps bring out more to the overall scene. So, but yeah, I mean. I'm pretty sure everyone is probably either like just raving at us in the comments, just like, I loved it. What are you talking about?
Or they're agreeing with us.
Or they're agreeing with us. I don't know. Maybe they're fighting it out in the comments. Maybe they might be duking it. I'm not sure.
I was right. That's all it is.
Here's some things that like people were like talking about the opening, the opening music with the opening scene. How did you guys think that Stray Kids did?
I think the first song was actually pretty good. I actually like that.
I guess, maybe.
She was like, I skipped the opening.
I don't recall the opening.
You were just so focused on all the bad parts that it just literally deleted stuff from your brain. Is that what happened?
No, are we talking about like the opening as like the
opening music, like the opening scene? You know, not the opening scene.
Yeah,
but
the open. Yeah, I was like, there was no actual opening.
Yeah, there was. Stray Kids came in and we had the opening visuals play for like the future openings.
Man, I'm going to tell you that it blanked.
Wow.
That's
told you.
Man.
Wow.
That's how unforgettable it was. That like
I told you.
I more than likely blanked through it because it did not hold my attention at all. Then
my only one problem was like the music didn't go with the visuals of the opening.
I think the visuals were nice. I think the
visuals are cool,
good,
but the music didn't go with it.
Like I like the music.
I think that's
but
what
I don't
happened because
I needed something darker.
I literally did not process it because it more than likely it was just like, this is absolutely nothing, and just went through it.
Oh man. Just
Choose another. Ark is another breed.
Yeah, he's just in a whole nother ball league with himself right there. I mean, everyone else is watching the show, and Chu's he's just literally like, what? It started? He's like, there hasn't been
opening to this thing?
There hasn't been three text lines and me moving to the next thing. I don't care. Ark. Well,
we're just tweaking at you.
We pretty much are.
We love you.
Well, I mean, I think that covers pretty much everything we have for the first episode. I know that we'll come back to review the second one. Hopefully, it'll get a little bit better. We'll have something more positive to say the next time around. We've got Rack. We've got Mr. Coon on there in the next one. And we also see the first, we'll actually see the test giver as well. For the next one.
Mr. Leroy or whatever his name is?
I believe so, Mr. Leroy. So hopefully more to look forward to the next time around. Yeah. And we'll make sure to make Ark there watch it at least twice so that he can make sure that there's an opening and music going on. At least let the end. Let some of it.
No. I watched the end. I watched the ending.
I bet you did.
Only just to see if there was actually something
like a
at the
piece
end.
to the second episode.
Yes, and I recall that there is an ending, and there is black text scrolling. Yeah, but there is actually black text scrolling. There's not like the usual like animation ending where you get to watch like a really cool or like really somber ending. It's just like if I was watching a movie and then it's just black text scrolling at the end.
It was just black text scrolling.
See, I call that, but I'm telling you, the opening
that's incredible.
Must be so forgettable that I do not remember it.
It's definitely skippable in my book.
Ark remembers the end and nothing else.
He's like, the credits are the best part. What do you mean?
It finally finished.
The credits were the best part.
He's like, man, it made it. Oh, we got our priorities all twisted up over here.
We are a special bunch. Don't worry about us.
We very much are. But
we are a special bunch.
But anyway, yeah, we can go ahead and close it out for our relevant ramblings on this one. For sure. Seraph, do you want to go ahead and give us our end piece?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in and listening to this episode of Ark's Ramblings.
Man, it's never gonna finish.
Oh, it won't.
Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you guys want to keep up with our content, make sure to hit that little bell right next to the subscribe button. And if you guys, what are your thoughts and concerns on the anime? If you guys have any questions for us, let us know down in the comments. We're going to have things down in the description below, like our Twitter, Discord, Facebook, Instagram, Anchor, Spotify.
You got to remember it all.
And we'll also be leaving a link to our homies over at Project Manga as well. So thank you guys for coming in and watching. Make sure to stay safe out here, wash your hands, and stay the fuck inside. Dangerous out of these parts. And make sure that if you guys catch it, go to Ark's house.
Him first. Specifically him first.
You have to ensure my death every single time. I told you that.
Gotta ensure his death, guys.
Or immortality. Possibly immortality. But anywho, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to slide out of here. I am, of course, your host with the most for the last time, the Sleepies.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy, Seraph here.
And this is Art Dragoon out.
Hey, everyone stay safe, take it easy, and then...